Walter Van Tilburg Clark's 1940 novel The Oxbow Incident is a Western that explores the consequences of mob justice in a small Nevada town in 1885. The story follows Art Croft and Gil Carter, two weary cowboys who arrive in Bridger's Wells after a 5-day journey through the desert. Hoping to settle down, they head to Canby's saloon, where they learn that the town has been plagued by cattle rustlers. Despite initial suspicion, the saloon owner, Canby, eventually accepts the newcomers. However, tension rises when Gil, drunk and involved in a poker game, is accused of being a rustler. The situation escalates when news arrives that cattle have been stolen from the largest ranch in the area, and a local man named Kincaid has been murdered. The townspeople, fueled by anger and a desire for justice, form a lynch mob, which Art and Gil reluctantly join. Before setting out, Judge Tyler advises the mob to bring the suspects back alive for trial, but their leader, Major Tetley, is determined to mete out swift justice. Tetley insists that his sensitive son, Gerald, join the mob to harden him. As they ride out, the mob learns from a stagecoach couple that 3 men were spotted in Oxbow Valley. The group finds the suspects, a young man named Donald Martin, a Mexican named Juan Martinez, who claims not to speak English, and an old man named Alva Hardwick, sleeping near a herd of cattle. Martin insists that he legally purchased the cattle from Drew, the ranch owner, but he cannot produce a bill of sale, as Drew was supposed to send it later. The mob, disbelieving Martin's story, decides to hang the 3 men at dawn, convinced that they are guilty. The Oxbow Incident was well received by critics and adapted into a 1943 film noir directed by William A. Wellman, starring Henry Fonda and Harry Morgan. The novel remains a powerful exploration of the dangers of vigilantism and the consequences of acting without full knowledge of the truth. Facing certain death, Martin writes a heartfelt farewell letter to his wife, hoping to leave behind some final words. Davies, one of the men in the lynch mob, urges the others to read the letter, hoping it will sway them from carrying out the execution. However, Martin, feeling that his privacy has been violated, angrily confronts Davies, leading to a tense argument. Amid the confusion, Juan attempts to escape but is shot in the leg. It is then revealed that Juan speaks English fluently and is carrying a pistol with Kincaid's name engraved on it, which the mob sees as undeniable proof of the 3 men's guilt. The group decides to hold a vote on whether to take the suspects back to town for a fair trial or hang them on the spot. Only 5 men, including Gerald, vote for taking them back alive, while the majority supports immediate execution. The condemned men are taken to the place of execution, where nooses are placed around their necks. Martin's noose is tied to a tree branch, and Major Tetley orders Gerald and 2 others to cut the horse loose so that Martin will hang. Gerald, however, hesitates and cannot bring himself to do it. The horse eventually walks out from under Martin, leaving him to hang until someone shoots him to end his suffering. Tetley, furious at his son's failure to follow orders, beats him with a pistol. After the other 2 men are also hanged, the mob rides back to town. Along the way, they encounter Rancher Drew, Judge Tyler, Sheriff Risley, and Kincaid, who is injured but alive. Drew reveals that Martin had legally purchased the cattle from him and that the 3 men the mob had just killed were innocent. Although Judge Tyler is outraged and threatens to charge the entire mob with murder, Sheriff Risley offers leniency if the men will help him track down the real culprits. Davies, overwhelmed with guilt, confides in Art that he feels responsible for Martin's death and asks Drew to deliver Martin's letter to his wife. The burden of guilt also weighs heavily on Gerald, who is so distraught over his role in the lynching that he hangs himself in his family's barn. After learning of his son's suicide, Tetley, consumed by remorse, takes his own life by falling on his cavalry sword. Deeply shaken by the tragic events, Art and Gil decide that they can no longer stay in Bridger's Wells and choose to leave the town. The Oxbow Incident delves into themes of mob mentality, justice, guilt, revenge, and responsibility, while also offering a critique of societal conformity and the harsh treatment of outsiders, from cattle rustlers to Mexican immigrants to sensitive individuals like Gerald. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.